An hour later, he headed into town with the weight of all his questions still heavy on his shoulders. When he spotted the breakfast taco truck, he whipped into the Dairy Flips parking lot. He counted 4 people in line and glanced down at his watch. 7:25. Maya chewed the inside corner of his cheek. Since he'd been in River Rock, he'd come to love the breakfast taco truck that showed up wherever and whenever it chose. He hated the fact that you could stand in line and at any given moment, the man inside would say, "Sorry, we're out," and close the little window. Just like that. It had happened to him twice. Maya tapped his foot and waited behind a guy with 3 kids in tow. 3 customers in front of him. A woman with long ink-black hair stood on the tiptoes of her tennis shoes, arms folded and propped on the counter while she chatted with the guy inside. Maya had no patience for morning chit-chat and was just considering the merits of telling her so when her laugh split the air. Something shot straight into his gut. The sound from her lips was deep, rumbling, almost smoky, rich as warm butter and sweet as mountain honey. He knew that laugh. A slender hand reached up and captured some of the silken hair. Jeremiah's mind rushed to catch up. This couldn't be her. But that voice. When the guy in front of him moved and blocked Maya's view, he sidestepped so he could see her fully, if only from behind. He had stepped completely out of the line, and a heavyset woman rushed up to take his spot. Who cared? His eyes trailed over the brunette, assessing the possibility. Right height, but wrong body shape. This woman had long, slender legs, a perfectly shaped rear end, a small waist. No. It wasn't her. Maya stepped back into line, a little surprised at the disappointment rising in his chest. And that's when she turned around. Gray? Mary Grace Smith almost dropped her tacos. She'd spun from the counter to hurry back to her car when a wide chest stepped out from the line and nearly body-slammed her. Her bottle of Coke teetered on the edge of her makeshift food tray. Choice words shot into her mind. What kind of person jumps in the face of someone carrying food? But then something registered as her gaze slid from the tray between them, up over his chest, neckline, chin. He'd said her name. Finally, her eyes found his, and her heart stopped. Maya? It was just one word, just his name. But having it on her lips and looking into that golden gaze caused a flurry of unwanted sensations. Run. Run, 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 run. This was a bad dream. That was all. A bad dream where she awakened drenched in sweat. Of course, she'd known the odds of seeing him. She'd heard he was returning to River Rock, and suddenly, with Jeremiah in front of her, blocking her exit, River Rock seemed smaller. Too small. He was all wide smile and animated eyes as he said, "Wow, I didn't know you were living here. Are you just visiting?" Those eyes she'd watched for hundreds, if not thousands, of hours. Eyes that had, at one time in her life, entranced her. Eyes she'd drowned in. Of course, everyone who met Jeremiah was hopelessly trapped in his golden gaze. Add to that the ridiculously chiseled features of a Greek god and that magnetic personality. He was the triple threat. Maya made you feel like you were the only woman on the planet, even if you were the checker at the Piggly Wiggly and all you were doing was scanning his food. She'd actually seen women swoon. And that right there was why Gray took a full step back. He didn't seem to notice as he waited, perfect smile in place, for her to answer. Gray mustered her composure. "I just moved back, a few months ago." "It's great to see you." His brows were riding high, all excitement and anticipation. The sunlight behind him played in the strands of his light brown hair. Gray steeled herself. "You too." She nearly choked on the words, getting them out, and as quickly as she'd run into him, she could run away. "Well, better get going." When she stepped around his wide shoulders, he caught her arm. "Don't look up. Don't look up." But her eyes had a mind of their own and trailed to his. The tiniest of frowns creased his